Hey guys, Lord here, back again with another action figure review. Today we'll be taking a look at the Mythic Legion's Furious 4. Those of you out there are probably thinking, hey, you can't count, there's only 2 there. As a matter of fact, I can count. To top it all off, I had a 98 to 100 average in algebra for 4 years of high school. So, put that in your pipe and smoke it, son. That said, these are of course brought to us by the fine folks over at Horsemen Studios and are tribute figures to the hosts of the My Wife's Gonna Kill Me podcast, because who would possibly want a super cool Overlord Productions tribute figure, most likely a skeleton, before these guys, right? I mean, come on. And for those of you who didn't take that satirically, there's the freaking door. You know, don't come at me with your, hey, you're being a jerk. I don't have time for your crap, alright? Get lost. So, with that being said, yeah, we have Lord Bishotti the Alpha, of course, tribute to Stephen Bishotti, kind of the quote-unquote leader, the self-appointed leader, we'll say, as well as Uwit, who is based off my good buddy, friend of the channel actually, not sure if he's subscribed or not, but I do talk to him the most out of the My Wife's Gonna Kill Me crew, Jeremy Dewitt. And then, not on cam, but I also have off to the side a Petorion, who's based off Pete McCarthy, and Pelvicus, who's based off Travis Bowles, although doesn't really have any of Travis's name in his name. So I don't know where they came up with that. That said, you might know Steve and Travis on the channel if you watched my Mezco 112th reviews of Blade and Dr. Fate. I did trades with them to get those. Pete, probably the funniest, along with Jeremy, in my opinion. And then, for those of you who were fortunate enough to go to Legions Con last year, you were able to pick these guys up as a 2-pack and get the exclusive Cody Cat parts, which is a red cat head and tail. Or, if you're like me, your good buddy Patrick from the Mythic Legions Cabal hooked you up with those free of charge. So, shout out to my good buddy Patrick for that. I do believe I showed those parts in a video before, but I will show all the figures at the end for final thoughts. I just figured I'd keep things simple and have 2 of them out, because that's how you bought them. Whether you went to Legions Con or bought them single carded like me, this is how they came, and that's how we are going to do this review. That said, we got a lot to talk about because these guys came with a metric ton of stuff. Like, holy crap, they came with a lot of stuff. So, in no particular order, I will mention what accessories come with which figure, but we're just going to pull stuff out as I grab it here. So, I'm going to pair hoof feet. These came with the Uwit figure to make Petorion, along with the tail, which we've only really seen with the Warrior at this point. And then we also have this collar piece, which we first saw with Belphegor, as well as this collar piece, which is a more traditional kind of knight style collar piece. We also have the Petorion head, which is a red Minotaur head. Personally, I prefer the kind of Minotaur neck collar thing that kind of buffs him up a bit. Then we have the Pelvicus head, which is a deluxe skeleton Legion Builder head in red. It's got the hinged jaw there and the visor that flips down. Looks pretty cool there. Now I will tell you, if you take off this visor and you heat up the ports on the side, you could take the horns from the Petorion head and fit them on this Pelvicus head. It looks pretty cool. Total Skeleton Warriors vibe there. And then we also get a pair of grip hands for the Uwit figure. He's got the open hands now, but you do get grip hands for the numerous weapons you get with these guys. Starting off with this shield, which comes with Bushati the Alpha. The handle can pop off on the back there. And you can plot this on like so. I will say, this does remind me a lot of the Vampire Knight's shield, as far as the colors and whatnot go. We also got these two weapons. These came with the Uwit figure. This big gnarly sword and this, I don't know what you call this, a club? A mace? Something to beat people senseless with. And then with the Bushati the Alpha figure, you also get this sword. Standard Mythic Legion sword, nothing crazy there. And you also get with Uwit this staff, which kind of an homage to him being a stoner in real life. That's kind of hilarious. He uses herbs to get, for lack of a better term, effed up. And that's pretty funny. Not gonna lie. Read the bio if you don't believe me. That said, this piece pops off here. Goes on there. I think this came with Krotos as well. I want to say this staff piece is also with the Father Christmas figure. And then with Bushati the Alpha, we get the spear. It's pretty cool. And last but not least, get the strap. Never underestimate the strap. I don't care who you are. The straps are good. I like the straps, but we get them in red here, which is cool because we only get these in red with the Black Knight, and haven't seen him since the reinforcements sale last year. So, yeah. That said, we're going to look at Bushati the Alpha first here. And he, of course, has the gladiator helmet. I kind of wish he was like a red elf or something. So I think they call him either the Alpha or the... I want to say they call him Alpha, but it almost sounds like Alpha, the way people are saying it. And if he's supposed to be an elf, it would have been cool to get a red, I don't know, Malachi Cinderhorn head or something with him. But we get the gladiator head. It looks really cool in these colors. Kind of similar to Romulus, so it's not blowing me away, but it's cool. Very hindered in articulation, though. That said, he's got the more kind of, I don't know what you call this. They fit better to the body, these pauldrons. They're smaller. They're not as bulky. They bulk them up a little bit, but they are more snug on the body. And I think they're from the Red Shield Soldier, right? And then he's got the traditional, knight arms and legs right down to his feet there. He's got the skirt piece we saw in Alithia. He's got the plated loin piece there. Then he's got this new belt piece we also saw with Alithia. And if you have that sword, I don't know where I put his sword. There it is. You can easily sheath that in here like so. Just like that. But that's Bushati the Alpha, for the most part. He's red and black. He's got the new Alithia Wave torso with the kind of straps going down the front. Lord Bardrick is the first figure to have that. He does have a cape, which is not the biggest pain in the neck to put in. It only has 2 holes as opposed to 4. So it does hang nice for the most part. I do wish it had those other ports, because then you can do a lot more with it. Like, you can have it go over his shoulders like Batman or something. But I like the cape. It's simple, but effective. And now moving on to Uwit. Here he is. I should mention, they also have this smaller neck collar piece thing here. Uwit did not come with that. I just put that on him because he's got the beard and the other thing got in the way. The kind of vampire collar or the knight collar just didn't really look right with him. So I like him more with this. I think that's cooler. But, you know, that's just me. And he's got the bigger kind of spiked pauldrons here. Got the spikes going around the edges. There, they do hinge out of the way. He's got the furry loincloth. He's got the soft good, not soft goods, but the sleeves and pant legs from the Ilithia wave. Basically the vampire archer character, Valak. He's got a lot of his parts. I think these are just standard knight gauntlets for the wrists, and then the shins and the feet are just like Valak from Ilithia as well. I think this torso is from Varthog. This whole torso assembly is actually from Varthog. The belt, the pauldrons, I think even the loin piece. No, the loin piece isn't, but everything else is. Then of course he's got the Varthog head there, so really, really cool. I like these guys a lot. No homo. But they do have a ball joint in the head there as far as articulation goes. The neck allows them to look side to side. Pauldrons go up, so you can move the arm out here. You can rotate him forward and back. He's got a single joint in the elbow with swivel. Swivel in the gauntlet, swivel in the wrist. I will tell you, the wrists do have a tendency to pop out, but I managed to find the right combination for mine to where they don't. But I've seen that as a widespread issue with these guys. That does kind of suck. I think it's mostly because the peg's too short or the hole's too wide. It's one of those two things. And that's what she said. But they do have that hinge there. See, he's got open hands on him. He's got a ball joint in the waist. You can twist him at the waist too. Nothing overly loose on these guys, just a little bit here and there. Hips can kick out. Forward and back, he's got a thigh cut. Single knee. Swivel below that. Swivel at the foot with a hinge. And a rocker. I will tell you, all these figures have the boom boom hole, so you can give a tail if you want. But I don't think that's the point. But yeah, man, peg holes at the bottom of the feet, business as usual. So that's it for the Furious 4. Cool figures. If you like to kit bash, these are the perfect figures for you. Me personally, I'm a fan of the My Wife's Gonna Kill Me podcast. I enjoy it quite a bit. I also enjoy Podcasters of the Universe and Legion's Cast, which I guess Legion's Cast is predominantly a YouTube, live stream thing now, but it used to be on the Apple Podcasts app, the iTunes Podcasts app. So hopefully it goes back to being that at some point. But I'll just have to play catch up on good old YouTubes if I want to see them actually talk about toys instead of their sex lives, Because if you listen to the My Wife's Gonna Kill Me podcast, there's a lot of that. It's a lot of that. A lot of other stuff that it's not really appropriate to talk about on my channel anyways. So you're just going to have to go listen to it for yourself. That said, Podcasters of the Universe, as well as Legion's Cast, probably the most tame that these guys have to offer. So if you want something a little bit more clean, maybe go with that. But I don't know. I like the My Wife's Gonna Kill Me podcast probably the most. It's really freaking funny. I die laughing, and that's a good thing. Laughter's the best medicine. You can't OD, and refills are free. Good quote from Mr. Rob Paulson of voice acting fame there. So with that being said, actually, since there's not really much to compare these guys to, why don't we just bring in our two regulars here? Got Brother Mandibulus, my favorite Legions, and since he's the channel mascot, might as well be the Overlord Productions figure. Kind of fits in with these guys. He's red and black too. And we have the Mkai 11 Spawn, the infamous Mkai 11 Spawn. Of course, being the Furious Four, these guys are a perfect match for the men in red and black club. I mean, they are red and black after all. I mean, the freaking orc skin is red. Don't get more red than that, man. That said, we don't have a lot of Fury Clan dudes. We got the Hellfire Goblin, which I'm not sure if he's a member of that or not. And then we have the Fury Clan Orc. And then if you want, the Red Krampus. It's like, we don't have a lot of red figures to kind of mix and match with these guys. Belphegor, I think, is the best match. He's got the closest skin tone that matches the rest of these dudes, so you wanted to spruce up Uwit and Pitorion and give them bare arms and legs. The Belphegor figure is probably the closest match, if I had to guess. That said, I think that about wraps things up, so I guess we'll move right along and discuss my final thoughts. Overall, and before we wrap this up as promised, here's a look at the Furious Four in their entirety, minus the Cody Cat kit bash I made, because, well, that's not a part of the non-Legions Con exclusive offering, so I don't want to cause any confusion by throwing that in here too, but I do have one off to the side. Utilizes some parts outside of the Furious Four here, but we have Lord Bashadi the Alpha leading the charge, Pelvicus, Uwit, and Pitorion flanking him, and even though these guys are a bunch of goofballs in real life, I don't know if I'd want to mess with this version of them. Seems like they could kick my arse way into next Tuesday. So, wrapping things up with some final thoughts. I really like these figures. I think it's a fun concept to have all the modularity, interchangeability, and the amount of parts you get with these figures is bar none some of the best you're going to get from Mythic Legions. At this point, anyways. The Poxus wave and the Necronominus wave, not out yet. Those figures come with quite a bit more as far as alt hands, heads, and all that stuff goes, but for now, these seem to be some of the best value per dollar as far as Legions go, especially the Pitorion / Uwit figure, because you get the 2 sets of feet, 2 sets of hands. Granted, my only major gripe with the Pitorion / Uwit figure is the hands are kind of loose. At least they pop out kind of easily. You get both heads, one of which has removable horns, and then you get 2 collar pieces, and you get some weapons, and you get the belt with them. I will say, while you do get the capes with Pelvicus and or Lord Bashadi the Alpha, whichever you prefer, I think they could have benefited from something else. I feel like they could have come with another weapon. They only come with the spear, the sword, and the shield. They do have some newer parts on them compared to Pitorion / Uwit figures, but at the end of the day, they're super fun. I love having figures of, you know, that are, well, I guess I should say tribute figures of people I know. Like, we have Sir Gerard, we have Lord Bateris, now we have these 4. Walter the Mad is the Legions Con exclusive of this year. Maybe someday we'll get an Overlord Productions figure. I wouldn't hold my breath on that, though. I'm not nearly as famous or infamous or whatever. But, you know, Brygar the Blind would be pretty sick, I'm not gonna lie. A skeleton with like a blindfold that's just a maniac that gets mad at everything and likes to smash stuff. You know, that kind of sounds like me. Maybe minus the smash stuff part. But, you know, it's Mythic Legions. I gotta get a little aggressive, you know? That's how you get what you want in life, kids. So, with that being said, I would wholeheartedly recommend you pick these up if you're a Legions fan, or if you just want to dip your toes into the line. I think these are a safe bet. That said, hopefully we do get some more characters to mix and match with them. I'm surprised we didn't see something in the Reinforcements 2 wave that goes with these guys, but, you know, there will be more reinforcements waves to come, I'm sure, and hopefully more Fury Clan members to come. Because I really like the first Orc. I really like these guys. And if the Hellfire Goblin and Red Krampus count, well, then I like them too. And of course, Belphegor, one of my favorite figures in this line. So, it's got red skin and it's Fury Clan member. Chances are, yeah, I'm going to like it. So that being said, until next time, I'll catch you guys later.